Hammy here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a very simple treat garland that is a great boredom breaker for your hamster, so let's get into it now. For this project, you're going to need a drill, some drill bits, scissors, some sisal string, some wooden beads, glue rolls, and some hamster treats. So first we're going to start out with some glue rolls and make some puzzle toys for our hamster. In my previous video of my DIY hamster advent calendar, I showed you how to make these, but in case you missed it, it's very simple. You just cut a glue roll in half, cut some tabs on the tops and bottoms, fold the tabs over, and you have an instant hamster puzzle toy. You're going to make about 2 of these. Next, you're going to fill your puzzle toys with treats. For the treats, I'm going to use these Selective Naturals harvest loops. These can be found at Pets at Home. I'm using these because they have holes in the center, which will make it really easy for stringing onto the garland. Use whatever you've got lying around. I just found that this is a lot easier for this step. So once those have been filled with treats, you put them off to the side. And we will be prepping our other treats. For this, I'm using both a peanut and a hazelnut. I'm just going to be giving my hamsters one of these because both peanuts and hazelnuts and walnuts can all be a bit fattening for your hamster, so you shouldn't give them too many. Next, you want to get a drill and a drill bit. For this, I'm going to be using the size 3.5 drill bit. Use whatever you have on hand. You could do this with maybe a nail and a hammer if you don't have a drill. I DIY a lot, so I just have this equipment on hand in my house. I recommend that you do use a block of scrap wood to be drilling into the nut. It's just going to help save your table from damage, and it's pretty straightforward. You just want to drill a hole into the nuts. The nuts are pretty easy to drill through, so you just want to go really slow. You don't want to be doing this on a fast setting. It can cause the nut to go flying off. You could damage your hands. Just be careful when you're doing this step. Ideally, if you don't want to hold the nut with your fingers, you could use like needle nose pliers or just regular pliers to hold the nut while you're drilling, and just remember to go slow. The hazelnut I found took a little bit harder to drill through, but just go really slow, take your time, and you eventually will make a hole through the nut. I ended up actually using the drill bit off of the drill to clear out the hole in the hazelnut, just so I had a nice hollowed out section that I could feed the string through. Once you've got your nuts drilled through, go ahead and grab some wooden beads. These are just some inexpensive wooden beads I got from the craft store. If you live in the UK, I got these at the range in the craft section. I ended up going through the bag and selecting a couple beads of different sizes. Next, you will need some sisal string, and for this you want to have double the length that you think you're going to need, because you can always trim off later. So that's what I'm doing now. To start off, you're going to make a knot at one of the ends, and because the holes in my beads are a bit wide, I'm going to be tying the knot a couple times. I think I did this about 4 times in total. And now you're ready for assembly. So I'm just going to start off threading through a wooden bead. And then I'm going to double knot that. And then I'm going to put on another bead of a different size. And then I'm going to use one of the puzzle toys. To thread it through the string, I ended up taking the treat out and pulling it through the hole, and then threading the treat onto the string, and then going ahead and closing up the puzzle toy and pushing it down. And then to secure this, I'm going to add another bead. If the end of your string starts to get frayed, just snip off a few centimeters, and then it should be a lot easier to use. As I thread on the bead, I'm going to go ahead and triple knot this just to make sure that it's secure in place and it keeps that puzzle toy from moving too much. And then I decided that I wanted to leave a little bit of a gap, and you can choose however you like to do this. You could add more beads onto this to make it a bit more secure. Then I'm threading through the peanut. There's still a lot of bits in the peanut drill hole, so I ended up taking a barbecue skewer and skewering it through the peanut, and that made a pretty clean hole for the thread to fit through. It might be a little bit fiddly, but you'll get there in the end. And then I am double knotting that in place and then securing it with another bead. Next, I'm adding on the hazelnut. This was a lot easier to thread on, I think mainly because I used that drill bit earlier that just helped clean up the hole and just made it a lot easier to thread. And I'm going to be securing that with a couple triple knots as well. And then I ended up putting a few more beads. And then from here I just added the rest of my items in no particular order. And you can do all sorts of designs with this. In the end, you'll have something that looks a little bit like this. This is a great boredom breaker for your hamster, and you can hang it a couple ways. You could hang it vertically from the top of your cage. If you have a long window, you could hang it like a garland on the side. And yeah, just have fun with this. I hope you give this a try. If you found this tutorial easy to follow, please give the video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you're going to be giving this a try. And consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.